Hey guys, FMS26 here, and welcome back to highlights of AOR here for round number 4 of the season at Spain. And after a disappointing result last time out where we failed to finish in Baku, we're hoping to return to the form of Bahrain and China of getting solid points. Obviously, as I mentioned at the end of Baku, Aaron has now been moved up, so it opens the opportunity for someone else to win. It'll probably be Stewie, but we can give it our best shot. Our pace around this track isn't bad. We're looking for a low 17, hopefully 17-1 in quali, but what you're about to witness is how not to qualify, although I'm not convinced the lap wasn't that bad from watching it back, apart from a small mistake, which you'll see later on, but I don't understand how my first set's time was so bad when I thought I did that reasonably well. But oh well, I'll get over it. So we're 2 tenths down on our super soft run, which we backed out of, but I'm not entirely convinced by that as we come into turn number 5. They're getting on the power nice and early on the exit. Not too much wheel spin as we head into turn 7 now. We went down to third a bit too early there, so lost a bit of speed on the entrance as we now head towards the fast turn 9. Could have been a bit more aggressive through there, but again, I don't feel that it cost us too much time as we head down towards the hairpin of turn 10. Qualifying is now over, so we have to get this lap in. A bit too much on the curb there, but not too bad, and this is the mistake here. We got a bit of oversteer here and just about managed to hold the car through the right hander as we continue on towards the final few corners. Getting that hooked up quite nicely. Could have been a bit quicker as we now head through the last chicane, mounting the first curb, not too much on the second curb, using the exit curb nicely as the Humperdinck's actually going to put it on pole as we come around to finish the lap to only just improve to a 1 minute 17.6. And I'm not really sure how. Yes, admittedly the lap wasn't very good, but it wasn't that bad, was it? But yeah, it's the Humperdinck who gets pole from Stewie, with Peanut and Shemiel deciding to go on the supers. It's Dylan who's in 5th, with Matty Man 6th, Sebro 7th, Amazed 8th, Minty 9th, and myself 10th, with Nicole in 11th and Midget in 12th, I believe. And then Jackster, Giant, and Malta rounding out the grid. But yeah, we weren't far off pole. Although there was a big gap to Minty, the top 9 was very close, and then we were a bit further back. One stop, obviously, as we've managed to qualify on the softs this time. And yeah, not particularly looking forward to the race after that qualifying. I should have been up there. I very much doubt I could have got pole, but I could have been 2nd or 3rd quite easily. I did a 17-1 in practice in the afternoon before the race, but obviously it's not gone well in the actual race, which is what matters. But we need to get a good start as a result. We have 5 lights now, and it's lights out and away we go here in Spain. We've actually got quite a good launch, especially compared to Amazed in the Sauber ahead, who's got a shocking start, as we're now going to have a look up the inside as the gap emerges. Couldn't go to the right straight away due to the pit markings, but the space is now there, so we have a look up the inside into turn 1. Everyone's kept it pretty clean, I feel, as we haven't been able to get past, but we're now going to have a look at Minty, who got blocked off on the exit by Amazed there, so that's us up 1 place already. We're going to try and squeeze him out on the exit of turn 3, and he isn't able to hang it around the outside, so that's us up 1 place as we head into turn 4 now. Going to be quite late on the brakes there, quite optimistic, but Amazed was pretty cautious into the corner. That's given us the opportunity up the inside of turn 4, but he's still going to maybe have a look into turn 5. The proximity arrow appears, but it's unable to do anything there and put us under pressure, which means we're up 2 places. A solid start from me here to move me up to 8th already, and we're behind Sebro, who's very quick around this track, 3rd in the world on time trial, but seemingly only 7th today in AOR F5 on the first lap. He's got a great run through turn number 9 there in the slipstream, probably using overtake ERS. He's going defensive. Are we able to brake later than him into the hairpin? Yes, we are. Much more confident on the brakes, in fact, as we're going to leave him space on the inside, but I don't think he wants to take it, and indeed he's not. So that's a great start from us, doing exactly what we need to do. Not quite our ILR start, but still pretty solid. Up 3 places, with 2 super soft runners ahead of us, so we're effectively in P5 here. We need to be looking at Matty Man quite quickly. Unfortunately, if you check the mini-map, Stewie's got about a 7-second lead. Well, maybe a slight exaggeration there, but he's quite far ahead of the Humperdinck already, so he's managed to jump the Williams on the first lap and bolt away. So unless he makes a mistake or something, I suspect he's not going to get challenged unless there's a safety car maybe, but we'll do our best. Our pace seems to be pretty good, but as you can see, it's all kicking off ahead of us into turn 3. As you can see, we drop back through the last sector, which is probably due to the fact that we're running 2 11 wings, meaning that we don't have a huge amount of grip through the corners due to the 2 front wing, but we've managed to catch up again through sector 1, which is helped by the fact that they're battling as Dylan managed to aggressively force his way past Shemil into turn 5, and now we've got Matty having a look as well, and he's passed already before turn 7, so Shemil dropping back already on the super soft here on lap 2. He's lost the back end there, and there goes a bit of our front wing as we head through turn 9 now, and he's actually dropped it completely there. We just managed to avoid him, but now we've got his teammate Amazed having a look around the outside through turn 10, and I think that's Sebra as well having a look on the inside. He sensibly backs out. We're going to try and fight Amazed here, but he's got the outside line. He'll have the superior traction. There's nothing we can do there really, and yeah, Shemil just losing the back end there through turn 8. I mean, nothing we could do. There's not enough time to react when the cars are that closely together, and we've just gone into him and lost a bit of our front wing. Luckily we did manage to avoid it when he dropped it completely through turn 9, as that would have been a train crash, but we managed to prevent that from happening. But of course we now have to come into the pits and convert to the 2-stop here, which is exactly not what we wanted. But we'll put on a set of mediums I guess now, and then do softs at the end, and hopefully we can salvage something from this race at least. Shemil has followed us into the pits, so his superstar strategy has been really worthwhile, and was definitely worth qualifying in P4 or wherever he qualified to do 2 laps on those tyres. But yeah, there we go. The front wing changed out of the pits, and hopefully we can get something from this race. Hopefully there's a safety car, but it's not very likely, let's be honest. The game doesn't appear to be very nice in terms of giving me safety cars when I need them, but we can cross our fingers. There was a safety car last week in Baku, but after we DNF, so it didn't mean much, but it made the race quite interesting towards the end, which sadly I didn't get to see, but these things happen. But here's the slow motion of the replay. As you can see, Shemil just loses the back end. I'm guessing he slammed on the brakes there, and we've gone into the back of him. Nothing we could really do, to be honest. As I said, I tried to react, but there's nowhere for me to go. And then through turn 9, he's dropped the car. We're able to lift off the throttle, just turn the steering wheel that extra bit to avoid his front wing, and manage to continue going. But yeah, end of lap number 5 or 4 maybe. That's the fastest lap from us, but we're still in 14th, second to last in the middle of nowhere. But moving on to lap 7, things have actually happened. Minty's dropped it off this curb like I did in ILR, and he's out the race. So that's us up to 13th. And if a couple more people do that, we might get in the points. As we now skip to lap 11. We see another car who's actually got all 4 tyres on it, and it's Peanut, the other super soft qualifier, as we've caught him. He wasn't particularly quick, and he's getting out of the way of me there very kindly, so thank you to Peanut if you are watching this, which is probably not the case, but thank you anyway. And that's us up into P12 here, as the next car is Matty Man in the Williams, I think, as the Humperdinck sets the fastest lap of the race there. So we're up into 12th, hopefully our pace is better than some of the people ahead on the 1-stop, which is pretty much the whole field. So I'm not rating my chances particularly highly at the moment, but you never know, as we cut turn 2 quite a lot there. We'll ignore that, but yeah, still my pace isn't bad. It's not incredible around this track. The start of the season, apart from Australia and Bahrain, China, Azerbaijan, Spain back to back, is not particularly good for me usually, but we're doing our best here, and hopefully we'll salvage a couple of points. Hopefully a few more people drop out the race, we're able to gain a few positions. Obviously there's still more than half of the race to go, so anything could really happen, but I suspect it won't. But it's now actually Amazed in 11th instead of Matty Man, and that's because he's dropped it out of the turn 7 Nate chicane. A very easy mistake to make, but we're now on the back of him and his old worn softs, which is good because we both have 1 pit stop to go, so this is a net battle for position, albeit 1 outside the points, but that's not important as we head through sector 3 now into the 4th to last corner, and he's going very slowly through there. I'm guessing his tyres don't have a lot of grip or are very hot after the spin, and he'll now peel off into the pits, along with maybe a couple of others which will allow us to move further up inside the top 10. Yeah, Malta's in the pits as well, and maybe someone else. So we move up to 10th as Midget's also in the pits, which puts us up into P9 there. So yeah, in the points temporarily, but obviously we have to stop again as Mighty Dylan is in the pits at the end of the next lap, along with C-Bro, who we overtook on lap 1, and that is painful to see really. Well, we have to make 1 more pit stop. We would be right in behind him, even with the front wing change, which shows that yeah, our pace wasn't that bad, but these things happen. We weren't able to catch him, unsurprisingly, on 12 lap old mediums, and by the end of lap number 16, I think this is, yeah, 16, Mighty Dylan has caught up to me. We don't help our own cause by trying to destroy the rear tyres on the exit of the last chicane there, and we're just going to let Dylan through here. He's quicker than me, he's on a different strategy, and we're not going to fight him as he goes in search of points for the second week in a row after his debut last week in Baku. An impressive showing from the previously F6 man here once again in Spain. But what is currently happening a bit further ahead, which you might be able to see on the mini-map, I don't know, something's covering it on the screen, is the giant in the Ferrari is parking the bus. He's doing the Kimi Räikkönen and trying to help Jackster gain as many places as possible later on in the race, which could work out for him. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But as you can see, Dylan's already pulled away quite significantly from me as we come through turn number 9 once again. So we're not going to be within DRS, I don't think. And well, actually we were within DRS, but we won't be on the pit straight, just to show the pace difference. Midget's behind us, not by much, so even when we do pit, I suspect we won't catch him up as we head through there, as we've got all over the curve and managed to just pull the oversteer and opposite lock there and save it, as we managed not to bin it, which is obviously not what you want to see. Skipping a couple of laps later, Dylan's decided to go exploring, forgetting for a moment that he's not doing MotoGP and is in fact doing F1, and we've caught right up to the back of him again. I don't know what he's done, but as you can see, there is the giant in the Ferrari. His Kimi Räikkönen bus park has held off the guys for a reasonable length of time, but not a huge amount, and he's continuing for another lap. I'm guessing Jack's in the pits this lap. We're coming in this lap as well for a set of softs to take us to the end, and we'll see how much work we have to do in order to finish in the points. I suspect it will be quite a lot, but we'll do our best. Hopefully someone else retires. I think we're down to 13 from 14, so someone else has retired. I think it was Malta. As we now exit the pits on a set of soft tyres, which he should be able to push for the last 14 laps. Where are we going to be in relation to Amaze? We were just behind him when he came into the pits 7 or so laps ago, and we are still just behind him. So his undercut on the fresh mediums has been not too major, and we're in 12th out of 13 at the moment. Not ideal, but Amazed and Shen will have to pit again. Giant has to pit again, so we should be in at least 10th, I hope, here, but not sure about if we'll be any further up than that. So it's getting to the end of the lap. Shemel's in the pits, Giant's in the pits, that's us up into 10th. And we now have Amazed looking on the back of Amazed for position 9 here. His mediums are already a few laps old. My softs are brand new fresh tyres, so maybe we can have a look into turn 4 here. We're using the overtake ERS to have a look up the inside much later on the brakes with the better tyres, and that's us easily up into P9 here, and Nicole's the next car, but as you can see she's a long way ahead. So yeah, I think it's going to be P9 for us today, to be honest, but good move on Amaze there, although we did have quite a large tyre advantage, I will be honest. And yeah, it's going to be 2 points for us unless something crazy happens in the remainder of the race, as we've corner cut there and got a penalty. Good. So yeah, there goes my target of not getting a penalty for the whole season. But oh well. But skimming to the end of lap 23, the Williams boys have come in. God knows why. You can see the Humperdinck is just ahead. So despite qualifying on the softs, those guys have gone for the 2-stop strategy. Not particularly sure why you qualify on the softs if you wanted to do the 2. Well, obviously the Humperdinck got pole anyway, but you may as well qualify on the super softs and give yourself a free first stint. But yeah, I did notice that they picked quite early in the first stint, which was a note to me that maybe they would be doing the 2-stop as we slide our way through turn 7, obviously pushing quite hard. The Humperdinck is too quick for us. Matty Man is still behind us as we now see him on to lap number 32 here. Coming into turn 1, as our wheels decided to double shift us and try and kill us as it puts us into second gear there. We just managed to catch the back end and don't blow up the engine, which is always good. But yeah, Matty Man is within 3 seconds of us, so hopefully he doesn't have a penalty. We're a long way behind the Humperdinck, so unless it's like 3 penalties, nothing's going to come of that. But I suspect that's not the case around Spain. It's not a particularly big corner cut track on this game in comparison to other games like 2015 where it's very harsh, but that was pretty much every track apart from Austria in 2015, to be fair. But yeah, coming around the final chicane for the 33rd and final time for a race to forget for us pretty much here in Spain as we slide our way through the last corner for what will be 8th place, but Matty Man didn't have a penalty, so that puts us down to 9th here in Spain. Not ideal, but these things happen. Stewie takes the win as predicted, and it's Jack in second, doing a great job from 13th or wherever he was on the grid, and Sebro in 3rd there. So yeah, well done to those guys. Stewie taking over where Aaron left off and continuing the Toro Rosso dominance here. Jack ever consistent, and Sebro getting a solid result here. And now I have to try and remember the rest of the results, which I can't. So yeah, that's good. It might have been Nicole in 4th. I don't know. Someone in 4th, Nicole in 5th, Midget in 6th. Matty Man actually moved up to 7th. Humperdinck in 8th, myself in 9th, and the Giant in 10th. I can't for the life of me remember who finished 4th. Sorry, whoever you are. But yeah, that's been it for today, guys. Hopefully we'll have a stronger race next time out in Monaco. Oh god. But yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye.